Good morning, friends. This is Pastor Ginny with the Daily Word. As we are wrapping up our series this week, we have been talking about a place that has been particularly impactful for our theology. And like all the other pastors who have shared this week, I could think of a lot of different places, but one in particular that comes to mind is the church that I was part of in college, which is St. Luke's UMC in Bryan, Texas. I got to A&M for undergrad, and I had grown up as a United Methodist, and I thought, well, I want to kind of experience other denominations, other churches, give them a chance, kind of see what's out there, and I did. I visited so many different churches with some friends from Tyler, and still ended up at a United Methodist church, but it was a really different experience because this was actually a church plant. It was more of a restart of a previous church that had dwindled down to almost no members, to very few members. And so they had renamed the church and restarted it. And at the time that I began attending, that I joined this church, we were meeting in an elementary school. A cafetorium is what they called it. So it's kind of that mix between a cafeteria and auditorium. And we would put the chairs out and bring in all the audio equipment every Sunday and all of that, and then tear it all down at the end. And it was during my time there as a member that the first and currently only building was built for that congregation there on the west side of Bryan. So I got to be part of that process, part of that capital campaign. And at the time, I was beginning to discern my call to ministry. And so it was just such a formative season for me, obviously tied to that body of people in a really deep way, but also to that particular building, because I got to be part of seeing that progress as it came together, to see, the kind of hope and anticipation that our community coalesced around as people, gave sacrificially of their resources to make that capital campaign happen. I preached my very first sermon in that building from that chancel, and I was terrified. I think I was 28 years old. And I have attended weddings there. I have attended celebrations of life there for several years there in my early 20s. That building, just like that group of people, that building was like a second home to me. I've been back there since that time that I left. I left that church to go to seminary, and my candidacy was actually based out of that church, not the church I grew up in. It was that meaningful to me that I had transferred my membership there. And I know that even if I were to go back there now, it's been through some pastoral transitions, so there's a pastor there now that I don't know personally, but I'm sure that if I were to walk into that building, even if it was a different pastor, even if it was some of, the makeup of the congregation had changed in some ways, what makes that building so special are the memories that have steeped those rooms for me, steeped those walls for me in holiness, in the communion of saints, the memories of just experiencing such deep love from people who recognized gifts in me, helped me recognize and discern that call to pastoral ministry, who encouraged me and supported me and sent me forward into graduate school so that I could be where I am today. So that is the place I want to lift up for you today. Like I said, I'm sure we could all think of many. I would love to hear from some of you what those places are that have formed your theology and that have made you the person you are today. Thanks so much for joining us this morning, friends. I hope that you have a